Welcome to the training mission number 7, where we will focus on using Ccip mode for bomb attacks. Please enable your autopilot and keep the speed of 300 knots while we go through the basics and attack preparation. Press spacebar when you are ready to continue. Ccip stands for Continuously Computed Impact Point. This is one of the two main attack types, the second one being CCRP, or Continuously Computed Release Point. However, unlike in some other planes, in particular the A-10C, pilot cannot decide which mode to choose. It depends on the weapon they intend to deploy. The following weapons will require the pilot to use the Ccip delivery method: Mark 82 Snake Eye, as well as Beluga 66 and BAP 100. You are loaded with 8 Snake Eyes, which you can verify by looking at the bottom line of the PCA, where they are marked as BF1. Alternatively, you could press down the switch in the System Lights Test loadout display on the PPA, which will show you the outline of your plane with information about the loaded weapons. While we are on the PPA, let's discuss the weapons preparation before we move to the actual techniques of attack. The bottom left part of the PPA is dedicated to air-to-ground munitions. The switch on the left side governs the fusing of the bombs. In the down position, marked as inert, the bombs are safe and will not explode. This is the default position of the switch. The middle position, marked RET, activates the tail fuse of the bombs, thus allowing them to penetrate the target before impact. Remember that this setting will not work for cluster bombs or BAP 100. Finally, the up position, marked as INST, arms both nose and tail fuses and makes the bomb explode upon impact. The next switch governs the quantity of bombs that you release. You can choose between 1, which will be marked as 0 on the display, and multiples of 2, between 2 and 10. The value will be shown in the top window of the display to the right. The third switch is responsible for setting the distance between each bomb release, from 10 up to 800 meters. The number at the bottom display to the right shows tens of meters, so if you set it to 5, it will mean 50 meters. Obviously, this option will only work if your bomb release quantity selection is set to something different than a single bomb and will not function for the GPUs. Alright, turn towards waypoint 2 and let me know when you are ready to proceed by pressing the spacebar. Time to go through the bombing procedure. I will describe the steps you need to take for a successful run in Ccip mode, and then I will ask you to put them in practice as a training package. First of all, make sure that you have your radar altimeter set to on. You will need the exact distance from the ground for an accurate delivery. It is also necessary for the targeting piper to show up in your HUD. Secondly, turn on your master on switch and select your bombs by pressing on BF1 button on the bottom row of your PCA. Also, this would be a good moment to raise your seat so that you will have a better field of view. Both Ccip and CCRP modes require a slant range to the ground. You can obtain it in one of 3 ways. First one is a radar ranging. To get the needed data, you need to click on the TIS button on the top row of your PCA. When you do that, the radar screen will go black, apart from a small TIS symbol in the upper right corner. The TIS mode would be your preferred method, as it gives you the actual terrain height where the target is, or more precisely, the point which is currently directly below your Piper. The second method is to use your radar altimeter. As opposed to TIS, it will only give you the terrain height below your aircraft, but it is necessary to keep it on during a CCIP run in order for the Piper to show on the HUD. Additionally, thanks to that, you will always have an accurate distance to the ground. Finally, you can use your INS to calculate the range to the ground. To do so, you first need to select an initial point, and then the system will take over the calculations. So go ahead, select TIS mode, make sure that your radar altimeter is on. On the PPA, set the bomb fusing to impact, release quantity to 2 and dispersion to 0.1, which means 10 meters. Once you have done that, turn towards waypoint 3. Remember that with the master switch set to on, you should use your HS sight, as the waypoint indication will disappear from your HUD. Your targets are located on the old runway, which should be visible from far away, looking like a big white X. Press spacebar when you are visual on the target. The CCIP bombing is quite straightforward. You need to observe the Piper and release the bombs when it is directly over the target. It is more accurate than CCRP, but it puts you closer to enemy AAA or manpads. When you approach your target, maintain minimum altitude of 1500 feet AGL, so if you plan to do a steeper dive, which increases accuracy of the run, you should keep to at least 3000 feet AGL. Also, your speed should not be lower than 400 knots indicated. If you go slower, your Piper will remain below the HUD and you will not be able to see it. Plus, the faster you go, the more difficult it is for the enemy to hit you. As you approach the target, start to dive. Obviously, the higher you are, the steeper you can dive, with 20 to 25 degrees being the most precise delivery. During the attack, constantly monitor the minimum altitude release Q on your HUD, the two short horizontal lines that extend on both sides of the four-bar line. If it reaches the FPN, it means that you are too low and you should abort the run, as bomb release is not safe anymore. When the CCIP Piper is above your target, press the trigger to release the bombs. You are cleared hot on your targets. Make as many passes as you wish. Test different release settings on your PPA. When ready, feel free to exit the mission. This concludes the CCIP training.